is you cannot be afraid to feel what you're going through. And as I was on my healing journey,
Profound.
I remember having these memories in my mind of what had happened, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what it felt like. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I had turned something off. And I think we have to be comfortable with our emotions if we're going to do life, if we're going to do anything in life. You got to be comfortable with how you feel, because it's going to indicate really where you're at. And so you can't be uncomfortable with yourself in that way. You know, if you're feeling anxious, you know what? I'm anxious today. I'm feeling stressed. Why is that? What am I entertaining? And God will give you insight to that, and you know, you'll get your peace back. And you know, it's just, don't be afraid of yourself in that way. You know, we can't be a house divided. We have to be able to embrace ourselves fully as a person, you know?
Right. Don't run
So,
away from those things. I love that. Is we too
mhm.
often when we start to feel fearful, we retreat. We kind of move
Yes,
away from that.
yes,
That's not comfortable. That I don't like dealing with that. But what
mhm.
you're saying is do the opposite. Press into it.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, I think we have a lot to learn, and doing something scary. I just read that Eleanor Roosevelt says, "Do something you're afraid of every day." That was
Yeah.
one of her quotes, and um, yeah, do that because I
No,
think as
and
we
when
do,
you're
we
afraid,
stopped being afraid.
absolutely. And God is, like I said, He's already given us the solution to that. He said,
Mm-hmm.
perfect love casts out fear. So when I'm feeling fearful, I ask the question, Lord, where do I need your love today? I need some love. Like, I'm feeling the
Mm-hmm.
fear. Your love is going to cast it out. So I always try to kind of apply it that way. You know, and God's love
Mm-hmm.
is patient, it's kind, it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast. It doesn't rejoice in evil, but rejoices in the truth. So I'm like, okay, Lord, where do I need truth? You know, because sometimes we entertain realities that really aren't reality. You know, like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I homeschool. I just can't do it. And it's like, is that true?
Is that
Or is
true?
that just how you're feeling? You know what I
Right.
mean? And so learning to establish the truth in the context of your life, I think will just
Mm-hmm.
give you, you know, oh my gosh, you know, this isn't going to work out. And it's like, wait a minute, who told you that? Kind of like God did with Adam. Who told you that, Adam? You
Yeah.
know, when God
Yeah.
was calling him out and Adam said, I was afraid, how
Mm-hmm.
Adam responded to God was an indicator who he was listening to. God doesn't give us fear. So if you respond in
Right.
fear, you got to ask yourself, who told me these things that's making me feel fearful? Because God doesn't give us instruction of fear. So that's how
Right.
you can know. And God say, who told you that? Oh, you're afraid? Okay, let's unpack that a little bit, you know? And then you can
Mm-hmm.
get out from underneath the fear if you acknowledge it. And so we just
Yeah.
can't be afraid to take our whole self to the throne, because God's grace is truly enough for all of that. His love is enough for all of that. And I love challenging God in that way. Okay, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling this way. Here I am. What you
Yeah.
got?
Right. It's that
So,
wrestling. It's why we
mhm.
talk a lot of sometimes as Christians about wrestling with God, and that's exactly
Yes.
it. It's taking it to Him. It's
Hmm.
not that I'm going to win this argument, no,
Right.
but God's going to teach me something. He's going to mold me a little differently. I'm going to come out maybe a
Yes.
little sore, but my understanding is going to be better.
Amen. Yes. And you're going to come out with a lot more peace, because a lot of times when you're feeling that way, like if you want to challenge God in that way, he shows you, this is why you're feeling that way, because this is how you're processing, this is how you're thinking about it. And a lot of times you don't even realize how you formulated something in your mind that led to those conclusions that because really when you think about it, we're emotional creatures. And so
Yeah.
if we think and we feel. So when you
Mm-hmm.
think about something, it makes you feel a certain way, and then you respond, right? And so,
Yeah.
you know, just being able to just realize that once you wrestle with God, you
Mm-hmm.
come out of it and you're like, wow, okay, you know. But and that's the cool thing about God. God's not intimidated. I mean, I use a lot of people will
Mm-hmm.
be like, wow, you talk to God like that? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm just honest,
I know. Well,
you
and
know.
he already knows. He can read your
You already
mind.
know.
Yes, my
Yeah.
kids had heard me yelling one point. And they're all, "You cursing God?" I'm like, "No, I'm just
I'm
praying
just,
really
I'm
loud."
venting right now. No, it's so true. And I think we have to be comfortable to approach God and say, look how Job would talk to God. He would be like, Lord, let me
Yeah.
argue my case with you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
David, I mean, all of the heart, anybody who had a heart after God, they were not afraid of God. They knew they could be truthful because they knew God was always going to meet them with love and mercy. God will bring correction, but
Mm-hmm.
he brings you the correction for your own good. He disciplines our thinking, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have to realize either you're going to bring yourself into your own destruction as far as kind of being isolated,
Yeah.
or you can get it's like going to the doctor if you're recovering from something and they sort of straighten it out. It's a little painful, But once
Mhm.
it's done, you can fully recover. So it's like, oh, okay,
Right.
God isn't going to leave you wounded. So just
Mhm.
wrestle it out. He'll let you do it. You'll be all right.